High-performing executives confuse chronic self-doubt with humility. But the thing you need to understand is that humility or being humble does not make you shrink back in a boardroom. Boom. When you're second guessing yourself at the table, you're not being humble. You're actually abandoning who your team needs you to be in that exact very moment. Since you're abandoning the version of yourself that team needs you to be at that very moment, it is actually costing you more than you ever could see. 70% of people experiencing imposter syndrome are typically acute, high-performing women in executive roles. The interesting part is that it often leads to under-negotiation and over-delivery without recognition. Boom. To be honest, I'm completely against the stay humble advice that mentors give, because what it does for executive women and men, but I'm specifically talking to my executive women in corporate America in their 9 to 5, what it does is it keeps you below your capability level, and that keeps you incompliant. And as long as you're incompliant, then you'll continue to be, quote unquote, developed into another role. And now you're sitting in a boardroom full of people who are less qualified, and somehow they seem to be the loudest in the room. And so here's what's actually happening. The real reason you're developing, if you will, imposter syndrome, and notice I said develop because it doesn't come out of the sky. It actually happens over time. The real reason it's developing is only because of one reason. You develop it simply because you're not ready. Now, let me tell you what I mean. When I say you're not ready, it's simply because you've been rewarded over and over and over again for the performance or the behavior that you've been doing, not realizing that internally is where the actual work needs to be done. So you've been the person in corporate that works harder, questions yourself more, and then ask for less. And now that exact thing is blocking your next level in corporate America. So the behavior that got you promoted is the same one that's blocking your next level. Here's the thing I need you to think about. Real humility does not cause you to shrink. Real humility keeps you grounded. Real humility does not ask for validation and or permission. What real humility does is help you to appreciate who you are as a leader, the value you bring to the table, and the fact that you're not asking for a seat at the table because you've already earned it and you deserve it. The leaders that I work with, VPs, SVPs, directors, it's not about them having more skills. This literally is about giving themselves permission to be who they actually really are, but it has to come from here first. And once the internal work is done, your leadership identity behaviors begin to shift. And that shift is all about you knowing and understanding who you are. That shift changes everything. And if you're ready to change everything, the executive identity audit is where we start. Do not get waitlisted. I will see you there. Happy leading.